Hello, good morning to everybody listening to us. This is the voice of the pedagogues. We wish all the Muslim faithfuls across the length and breadth of Nigeria and Sahara Africa a happy celebration. And on this note, I want to use this medium to congratulate every one of the Muslims. As we know that external exams are fast approaching, so we'll be giving a general talk on what students need to know as regards reading for examination purposes. So that is what the topic of today's counseling seminar will be hinging on. And I use this medium to appreciate those who have been encouraging us and supporting us, those who have been liking our videos and sharing it. I want to appreciate the pedagogues community, the WhatsApp community, and everybody supporting us in one way or the other. God bless you. We're on a journey to improving the educational system. And today, the topic for today is reading for examination purposes. Yes, reading for examination purposes. Students often fail examination due to the way they prepared for the exam. If you prepare haphazardly for your examination, it is most likely if that particular student failed that very examination, because it has to do with strategies and some irrefutable principles of reading. So when we talk of reading, before we even talk of reading at all, it is very important that you are familiar with the language the language of education. The language of education in Nigeria is English language, because the language of the colonial masters handed over to us and which we have adopted. So it is important for any student preparing for examination to be very vast and very good in the use of English language. That is very important, and most especially the tenses, the grammar, the phonology, the syntax, the concord, and many other aspects of the language needs to be properly understood before we are talking about reading for examinations purposes. So it is important and incumbent for parents and teachers to ensure that students have a mastery of the language of the examination before they even go for examination. And this starts from primary school. They need to be very good in the language from their primary school through wide reading. So I would just like to talk about reading tips on how students should read for examination. We have different types of reading. Students don't know the difference between intensive reading and extensive reading. Intensive reading is when you read very well, you read with detail, you read to get detail information from a particular material, you read to extract detailed information. And at times it can involve you trying to underline certain important aspects of the information, you trying to recall what you have read, and so many other things. Why extensive reading might involve is just when you are reading like newspaper, or you are reading just for pleasure or just to enjoy what you are reading. You are reading a novel, you are reading a storybook. The way you read a storybook and a novel is different from the way you read your educational material. So when you are reading your textbook for examination purpose, it is important for you to internalize the idea very well. For you to internalize the idea very well, very, very important. And for you to extract the information that is given in the material. So intensive reading is one of the key reading for examination purpose, where at times you try to recall, you try to remember what you have read, you try to close the book and try to regurgitate the answer. So it's very, very important. And there is something we call the long-term memory and the short-term memory. Short-term memory is you programming information into your head and your cerebral cortex within the short period of time. So at times, short-term memory is usually can be likened to maybe cramming. Maybe you are just preparing quickly for a particular examination. So short-term memory goes off over the time. It does not last long. It's just for you to retain information for a short period of while. While long-term memory is the best way to prepare for examination. It means that the reader of a particular information needs to have reading as a lifestyle, as a culture from time to time. Okay, you are reading, you are very familiar with your note already, you are very familiar with your textbook already. If you are told to give a definition of something, you already know where this definition is in your textbook. And so that's what is lacking in our educational system today, because many students don't have reading as a lifestyle. It should be a lifestyle. It should be a culture. It is then that you'll be able to have a proper grasp of what you are reading. So there is a clear-cut dichotomy between cramming and memorizing. Both cramming and memorizing are also reading tips. Cramming is just when you just get information into your head for a short period of time to retain information to prepare quickly for examination. It's different from memorizing. Memorizing is that you understand what you are reading and you are able to give apt information about certain things. You are able to give apt information. That is what has to do with memorization. Both are very important. You cannot say that you are reading for exam without memorizing some facts, because it's not everything that the examiner will demand a close-ended, an open-ended question from you. At times, the examiner will just want you to fill in the gap. In other words, it is important for you to bring out certain information, certain keywords in a given topic. For example, when you say, what is economics? Economics is social science that deals with ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. So that information has some very salient things that you have to put there. So it is important for you to be able to memorize some important facts. Okay, for example, if you are reading literature and you are reading a poem, you are appreciating a poem, you want to talk about metaphor, you want to talk about simile, you must be able to give some lines that reflect that. So it is important for learners to be able to memorize certain key information in any topic, and in any subject. So the way you prepare for different subjects also matter. You are preparing for CRS, you are preparing for history, you are preparing for social studies, you should be able to take note of events, you should be able to take note of dates, you should be able to take note of some important occurrences. Also, if you are talking about subjects like biology, like agri, like geography, it is important for you to be able to draw and label. Yes, you'll be able to define, you'll be able to list, you'll be able to define, you'll be able to list. So it's very important. Students shy away from intensive reading because it takes time. Yes, take intensive reading. When you are reading for examination purpose, it's not something to be done haphazardly. You have to rehearse it over time, and you have to create ample time to study. Ample time. You have to create good time to study, not studying just 30 minutes, 2 minutes. No, no. Students need to be encouraged to read and to really take time to read. Yes, you have to take time to read. Very, very important. And parents should try as much as possible to encourage their children to read. They should try as much as possible to wake them up to read. They should try. It's not the function of the teacher. No, the teacher cannot do everything. It is the work of both the teachers and the parents if students are to perform excellently in their examination. So the examiner may decide to give you open-ended question, discuss, examine. Yes, every question that of such needs to have introduction, body, and conclusion. It's not something to be written haphazardly. You have to be able to collate what you have read from your head. Yes, and then we'll be talking about recall. If you have not properly put it there in your brain, if there is nothing for you to recall, will be nothing, absolutely nothing for you to recall. So it is very, very important for children of school going age to learn these tips: reading, recalling, peer tutoring, peer tutoring. These are methods that are very, very much important in if you are to prepare for any examination. Very, very much important. So it is important for you to know how to approach different questions. Very important for you to know it. If the examiner says state, you should be able to give state. That is, you purely recall. If the examiner says define, you should be able to recall. Define, you should be able to recall. I'm not saying I understand it. No, you don't understand definition, you put it in your memory. So if, for example, if the examiner says so, dash is this, most especially in your practical examinations where you'll be given subjective questions, you have to be able to supply answers, meaning that at the point of reading for your examination you should be able to take note. The best method to read for examination is to read line by line. Yes, meaning that you have to take time. It's not something to be done as if you are reading your Bible. You don't read your Bible or your Quran in a very fast way as if you are reading newspaper. Many students read their notes as if they are reading newspaper, and this will not, it will mean that you have not taken enough time to commit things to memory. It is important to commit information to memory anytime you are reading. Very, very much important. Immediately you read and you close your book, you are not able to recall what you have read. It means that you have not read anything. It means you have not read anything. Then during this period of examination, it is important for you to have friends whom you discuss with. Yes, group discussion, peer tutoring, they are very wonderful ways to revise for examination. Then another very important thing is to use the past question. This period where you are preparing for WAEC, you are preparing for NECO, you are preparing for JAMB. So it is important for you to be very familiar with the language of the examiner. It's very important for you to be familiar with the use of past question. So having read different topics in your textbook, having read your teacher's notes, it is important for you to go to the past question and for you to read using the past question. Read the question, read the answer, read the question, read the answer. Numbers 1 to 60, number 1 to 100 in your WAEC series. Practice it. Practice it. After practicing it, use the answer to look at the correction. So all these things will go a long way to help you, because examining bodies don't really have new questions again. So you have to read the theories from beginning to the end. And we use this medium to urge parents. There is no alternative to buying books for children or school going age if they are to perform excellently well in their examination. It's part of the environmental factors. It's part of the environmental factor. Because when the learning materials are not provided, there is nothing these children will be able to learn. And so we cannot just be blaming them for performing below expectation in examination if we don't make the conditions that are necessary for their performance to be effective. You have to make the environment conducive for them by providing learning materials. Some parents will fail to buy textbook for their children. Ensure that you buy at least one good textbook for your child in their subjects, most especially when they get to the senior secondary school, and ensure that you buy past questions for them so that they have something to practice with. This will consolidate what the teachers have done in the class. The teacher cannot give the students everything that they need to know in that just 40 minutes, 45. The teacher is just to guide. The teacher is just a guide there. He is just a facilitator of mediated learning experience. It will only tune the brain of the student. And when the teacher has done that, he will leave the student to go and make a research. He has given them skeleton, they have to go and flesh it up. So the parents need to help by making sure that children across the length and breadth of the Federation and Sahara Africa have textbooks where they are able to read and where they are able to maximize knowledge. So with this, I believe that we have been able to give you very good information on how to practice and how to read in order to perform excellently for your forthcoming examination. Continue to listen to us. Continue to share our video. Continue to follow us on Facebook, on YouTube channel. So if you have any information or you want to help us in any way, this is our number: 09022621606. Till we have another talk on educational matters, issues and trends in Africa. Thank you very much and keep following us. God bless you. Enjoy your day.